This is the Power Element Podcast. Whoo! Coming at you with a new episode. The Everyone Leads. Excited about this episode. Getting a lot of good feedback. I think it's kind of nice because you can just kind of smash this out on the way to work. You can smash this out on the way home from work. Hell, you can smash this out on the treadmill, bro. Like
treadmill.
I mean, wherever, right?
Maybe getting some leg day.
I don't know about legs, because for me, bro, like, I got to get pumped for legs. I don't know about you, but, man.
What do you mean pumped?
I got to get pumped up.
You got to do something
some
before
music.
Oh, yeah, I got you saying. We got some music right here. Come on, play it. Yeah.
Ooh. I'll tell you what, man, missing old Daniel DSS Beats, Daniel Sanchez. Miss you, buddy. Hope everything is well as you study abroad, furthering your knowledge in editing and everything good in the social media world and the interwebs. What you got going on, Paul? How you doing? Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Seems kind of late, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It's kind of later. We're usually morning podcasters. Good, man. We got to put some audio waves to the microphone here. My podcast bank is depleted, so we got to put some work in.
And you said let's jump in and do a podcast.
Let's do it, man.
We need some more content. You've been running hard though with these episodes.
Dude,
bro.
I know. I'm kind of craving events now because we can knock out like 10 and it'll last me a few months.
Well, it does make it nice since it's here local in our office, and you can just grab me if we got a moment and let's talk some shop, talk some line work, and what better day than today?
Yeah.
Weather's great. We've got a good topic for today. So what you got going on?
I picked up another episode here. Everyone Leads, episode 104. We got going on. What was your feedback on Everyone Leads, episode 100? And we had another one in there with the Zach Brown. But what do you think so far? You digging the series, the flow?
I'm digging him. I like it. I like you challenging us, as a workforce to have these discussions. I totally dig the co-pilot thing, Duro. Like, I know that's a little topic not everybody likes talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But as you know, we're kind of into it. We're kind of looking at leveraging Copilot where we can to make us better, leaner, meaner, faster, and, anything to improve. But also there's that human element piece that you added because it's our opinions too. So I love it, dude. I think it's dope.
All right, cool. I think this episode today won't disappoint. Raul,
Cool.
Just a quick reminder. The Everyone Leads briefing right here. This series emphasizes that leadership is about ownership and accountability, not just titles. Today, we aim to discuss that and embody the Everyone Leads mindset. All right, Raul, segment 1, Ask Copilot. What I do is I type in Copilot a question, gives us the chance to look at industry challenges from a different angle, take the question, hear the response, connect it back to leadership, responsibility, and how our choices affect the people around us. Raul, and this episode this segment is presented and powered by Vimocity.
Our friends at Vimocity.
Yeah.
Dr. Kevin Rendall, what's up? Check him out. Love the Daily 5.
I actually just checked out the Work Ready podcast with his last guest, John. Really good episode.
Vimocity's doing a great job, bro. Like, he's getting a lot of content out. So just a shout out to Dr. Kevin and what he's doing, even for us as a company. I think it's game changing. If you haven't checked out Vimocity, check him out. Thank you.
Yeah, doing a lot of cool stuff. Mm-hmm. And stay tuned. Maybe some more stuff partnered up here coming up closely.
Nice.
All right. Raul, I asked Copilot, is there anything culturally similar to a journeyman lineman and a samurai? We're going to focus back on the IBEW Code of Excellence. You and I had a discussion with Colin Lavin a couple of years ago about the Code of Excellence, something we kind of like to reconnect with and bring to the forefront of our conversations. So what a better time than now. Speaking of code, the samurai kind of upholds the code of the code. Let me get into it. Mm-hmm. If you treat the samurai code, the Bushidō, not just as a historic... Ooh, man, I'm rusty. We're rusty, bro. You want to take over?
This is the Power of Podcast.
Not a historically novelty, but as a framework for professional conduct. This lines up with IBEW Code of Excellence. All right, Raul, let's get into samurai mode here. A couple samurai movies. The Last Samurai, Tom Cruise. Did you watch it? You remember that one?
I like Tom Cruise in his movies, but I'm more of a Mission Impossible kind of guy. Okay. I don't remember the Last Samurai.
Not a problem.
But what I know of a samurai, I mean, there's a lot of honor, right? Like you said, a lot of codes.
Yeah, a lot of honor.
Sharp swords.
Sharp swords. Speaking of sharp swords, you got 13 Assassins, one of those gory kind of action movies.
Okay.
You have Samurai the Trilogy, Episode 1 depicts Musashi Miyamoto. He fought over 60 duels and was never defeated, Raul. He also...
It was a bad mofo.
He also invented the OODA loop. Give me a second. He is known for adapting to opponents rather than relying on fixed techniques.
Very cool.
He's not formally owning the OODA loop, but I thought it was pretty neat because that's all about it, adapting, right?
Yep.
All right. He's the undisputed OODA loop champion.
Yep. He quick decisions at the time it meet as it comes at you.
You gotta make quick decisions. It's a sword fight. I wouldn't know. Never been in one, but we'll take the samurai's word for it. He developed a fighting style with a long sword and a short sword roll, which effectively challenged your favorite saying. That's the way we've always done it. And Seven Samurai, another good movie. Just quick little fun facts for you guys. All right, back to the show.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, check it out. I feel like I need to watch 13 Assassins. Pretty good show.
Yeah, all right. That dude sounds like a badass, bro.
Oh, Musashi Miyamoto. Yeah, he's good. He's got a book, The Five Agreements. A lot of people read that, so it's usually one of everyone's reads. So it's probably one of the more famous samurais.
There's a lot of dudes. Just before you get into it, there's a lot of dudes out there into samurais, bro, and like what it brings. I mean, I hear a lot of podcasts. Jocko's one of them too. They talk about how like they study the Japanese culture. It would be right, like the samurai and how like the rules, the techniques, the honor, the code, like the code of excellence, which we're going to get into again. So, no, dude, it's dope. It's a cool way of aligning the two cultures, if you will. I
think I did create this episode outline a couple months ago, but I do think I pulled actually because Jocko talked about it. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Kind of got the juices flowing, created juices flowing. So, all right, Raul, you mentioned big picture why this works. Both exists from the same question. How should a professional conduct themselves when the work is dangerous, the stakes are high, and others depend on them? A samurai is entrusted with safety, honor, and stability of others. A journeyman lineman is entrusted with public safety, a crew's life, and critical infrastructure. Neither can afford shortcuts. Both are judged by actions under pressure, not words. All right, Raul, let's get into it. Bushidō versus the Code of Excellence. A little preface here. I'm probably going to screw up some of these Japanese words. So, Japanese a little rusty.
Before you get into that first one,
let's go.
I have a comment, I think, because I want to make sure I understand where we're going with this episode for everybody on our listeners. So, comparing the samurai tradition and culture to that of a lineman. Is that where you want to go with it for the intent, or what's the tailboard?
Yeah, tailboard is to show a new perspective of how we should view our code. In my opinion, the samurai is the highest of those that abide by the code, that live by the code, and they realize. And to me, that's being a part of something bigger than they are. So I think sometimes our ego need to be put in check as far as what we're actually working for and doing the work for. Obviously, vast differences in the work that they do, but I think, like you said, the way the samurais are honorable, and I think we can learn a lot from how they live their life.
Do you think our trade understands that piece and how important each individual is, responsibility, and how important we are in reflection to what we do for our customers, what we do for our clients, what we do for the trade, the responsibility on us, and understanding the code, especially the Code of Excellence and what's required to be successful in our industry? Do you think do you think we talk about that enough?
No, absolutely not. I think that's why,
because there's a level of responsibility in it.
Yeah,
and I don't know if we focus on that enough, and I think that's the intent of this episode. And I like it. That's why I asked. Is really truly understanding where we're going with it. Is this line works bigger than just us, bigger than just us. I mean, the money's great, the work is great, the the relationships we build are great, but there's also I think where you're going with it is there's a code we have to uphold.
Yeah.
And when we get into this business as a young apprentice or a young lineman, or as we continue on, like, we should all be thinking, how am I going to leave this trade better than I found it?
Yep.
And I think that's where you're going with it. We don't want to erode our own trade. Is that where you're going?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I
that's awesome.
I'll throw this to you. I say you might be able to see it because of your view, your position, your involvement in with the apprenticeship, with IBEW and Local 47 specifically. You were just in Puerto Rico. You get to see that view. But I think as a line worker, as a person on the crew, you can kind of get just locked in those nuances of a crew life where you're going from your personal car to starting up your truck to getting material, going to the job, coming back, repeat, wash and repeat. You kind of forget about that code. And I think it's kind of why it's pretty neat to get to meetings and be active and kind of get a refresher Code of Excellence. Make sense?
Absolutely. I'm with it.
All right, cool. All right, Raul. So we're going to go through, I got a few codes of, samurai codes here. We'll go through what it means to a samurai, how it works with the IBEW. We'll translate it, and then we'll get a question to follow up. Sound good?
Absolutely.
All right, first word is gi, means integrity. A samurai does what's right, even when it's costly. IBEW code is going to be perform work safely, efficiently, and to the highest standard. Integrity on the line isn't about honor. It's about going home alive. Raul, everyone leads approach would be to ask, what does performing work safely and to the highest standard look like for my position on a crew today?
So I think when you talk about integrity, I constantly default to when we compromise something, those small compromising efforts or those things that we're allowing to be compromised continue to stack. And then it becomes the way. So for me, it's trying to understand. And when I say this, and I say for me, I'm saying it in regards to it's not easy. For one, I'm going to say that's not easy because once these habits, if you will, continue to stack and stack and stack, it becomes the culture. So for me, when you go into an integrity and when people are actually watching us, and believe me, when you put on and you're driving that super cool, AM55 bucket truck and that Digger Derrick down there with the IBEW stickers, and people know, our customers know what we do. When they know we make great money. I think for me, it's doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. And you build those habits so that when people are watching, it's no different. It's part of your culture. So I guess for me, we got to be careful with when we erode certain things that's maybe doesn't quite carry the code, the IBEW code, I'll say. And we continue to erode it and erode it and erode it, and that becomes the way, and that becomes the new way of doing things, and this is the way we've always done it. And that's where I think we can get ourselves in trouble. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. But does operating at the highest standard, someone at your position to middle-level manager, maybe a GF or foreman, down to a apprentice, does that apply the same? Do we go about it the same way, those standards?
To try to uphold them?
Yeah.
I think we do. I think we try to, and you're talking about middle management, and we're constantly it's not what you preach, it's what you tolerate. That's the standard. Yeah. I can only default to my training and to the culture that we're trying to implement or trying to enforce or just trying to create, I'll just say, because I think the more we tolerate, that becomes the standard, that becomes the culture. And at the end of the day, it's a decision. Integrity. Let's just face it. This word "gi," integrity. It's a choice. Yeah. If you look at it as a choice, we all know what's right. We all know what's wrong. We all know what's expected of us. We know the code from a organizational perspective. Us being a hand, just being a human being, we know what's right. So that's how we were raised. So at the end of the day, it's a choice. It's a decision to be made. And for me, it's let's start leaning towards making the right choice to the best of our ability with the right intent. If you have the right intent, it'll all work out. I think when we don't have the right intent and we look more selfishly, not towards the trade, not what's going to better the trade or leave the trade the better than we found it, I think that's when we get in trouble, back to stacking, compromising integrity issues that could continue to erode our culture. So for me, it's not what you preach, it's what you tolerate. That's going to be the standard, and you got to own it.
Integrity is a choice. I like that.
I don't know.
Good stuff.
That's a tough one, dude.
Yeah, it's I think it's hard to kind of articulate.
Where do you think the integrity is slipping the most in our trade? It's probably a hard question, but is there a spot where you say that maybe we could get better? And I'm not saying we as Sturgeon or just even local 47. I'm talking just as a whole. Is there something we could probably do better?
It's communicate. It's our default answer to a lot of things here. I mean, at all points in time, we're all tempted by a shortcut or, hey, I did this before and it worked. But I think communicating that standard from leadership down and setting that standard, and then upholding it, and then upholding higher standards on the crew. I think good crews do that, and good crews take that extra step. But I think it's the ability to communicate those standards and
because I think we're going to naturally deviate, right? Like in our trade, we're going to naturally deviate into, could be rules violation, whatever. Like you're going to naturally deviate. That's why I think it's so important in any culture, or strong cultures, that you got to raise the bar a little higher than normal. And we've talked about this before. Like, why does the standard have to be the minimal standard?
Yeah.
Why can't we raise the standard a little higher, knowing we're going to fall kind of in that standard that we want to end up? So for me is, let's set ourselves accountable. Let's put us in the highest standard as possible, even if it's above the standard. So that sometimes we'll settle in where we're going to deviate a little bit because we're imperfect. It's going to happen.
You look at the way of the samurai; it's held to the most highest standard, and obviously the goal isn't to be there, but understanding that if they do deviate, it's still going to be at an acceptable level. Very cool.
That's good. That's cool, man. That's a good one.
All right, 2 is going to be. I hope I'm saying this right. YU, courage. For samurai, it's going to be calm bravery in the face of danger. IBEW Code is going to be to take responsibility for safety and quality. How does that translate for linemen? The bravest lineman in the world, the bravest lineman is the one who calls a stop work. Standing up to complacency takes more guts than climbing steel. I don't know about that. That's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird.
My question, Roll, is am I owning the outcome or assuming someone else will? I think that's kind of where courage, the courage to either take on the outcome, positive or negative, or are we just going to say, Roll's in charge, he's going to be able to take this outcome, bad or good?
I think you see the most talented linemen and most people they love our trade because you got to have some courage. I mean, I'll just call it, you got to have some swag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have a voice on you. The most successful crews I've seen, the most successful companies and guys I've worked around, bro, they all got a voice and they're not afraid to speak up. I think one of the things as a young apprentice or young stepper that you try to instill in them is it's okay to speak up and use that man voice a little bit, just so that people can hear you. But there's also a fine line between that you got to have a balance is your ego too. Because sometimes, you want to come across like you have courage and you want to be able to say something, you want to have that confidence. But I personally think the most dangerous thing on the job site is your ego, not necessarily courage. I think ego has something that really puts you in a spot that'll get you in trouble because now you're too afraid to ask a question because your ego is talking to you, right? And then now when you deal with something or deal with somebody, you might have kind of a shitty attitude because everybody can see that ego. So for me, it's check your ego. In an everyone leads culture, back to everyone leads, you got to balance out just listening sometimes and listening to others. So that's being courageous, having an ego, and listening. To me, like you're trying to balance all three of those, and it's not easy to do.
Yeah.
But I think the more reps you get, we talk about getting reps. If you're a young apprentice or a young lineman or young foreman or young general foreman or whatever position you hold, take those opportunities, find that courageous moment, and say something. Speak up. Ask a question, build a relationship with somebody in the yard or on a different crew that you've never built a relationship with. Have courage to do that. And you'd be surprised how much benefit you would get out of just having more relationships in our trade like that.
Yeah.
But it takes courage, It takes courage to do this podcast. And here we are.
Knocking around. I think.
What do you think holds a guy back from speaking up or having courage? What do you think holds him back? I think we're mostly alpha males or females, right? Like we're not afraid to speak up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think construction's unique, line work's unique, where there's gonna be instant gratification. Typically, a job's gonna last a day, or maybe maybe there's a big reconductor job over a day, but there's gonna be something visible and tangible to be seen through your efforts. So I think it's easily to have courage and say, this is good. I did this. We did this safe. We did it. We were efficient. We're productive. And that feels good. but I think when the tendency is to own a mistake and have that courage, it's hard. My tendency is to work on taking ownership of that bad stuff, that stuff that could have done better at, or should ask for help. I think that kind of courage could lead into withholding this staple, this courage. I think that's something that I personally work on, and think there's opportunity for maybe people to kind of look at themselves and taking that step.
Dude, one of the things I was thinking about is the positive behaviors we see sometimes, like a dude having courage, right? I don't think we reward that enough.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, good speaking up on that. Nobody, they might be thinking that, in a safety meeting and the guy brings up something. I make it a conscious effort. Anybody that speaks up, I'll go up to him. Hey, dude, nice topic. Thanks for bringing that up. Just to reward that, to say, look, dude, we need more of that. And I'll do it right in front of everybody. You know what I mean? Our stewards do a great job. Hey, right in front of everybody, guys, nice job with that safety meeting. You guys killed it. I don't think we acknowledge that enough as part of the culture, so that we normalize it. Does that make sense? Normalize having those conversations to bring up, because it should be normalized.
Yeah.
Instead of, having somebody be timid when they, at a safety meeting or at a job briefing or at any point. So for me, it's just like I think we need to do better. And I'm saying us as leaders, rewarding those type of behaviors.
Yeah, that culture,
when we see it,
that culture be on display real quick, either at the safety meeting with everyone involved, or at a crew level, the opportunity to kind of speak up.
Oh, good stuff. How many of these we got?
We got a few more.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Just tell me to shut up and we'll move on faster.
We're doing good. I got a time check with you. All right,
Okay.
cool, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, hope we're saying this right. Gin, the duty to others.
It's a drink, isn't it?
J-I-N, not the G. Role the Samurai Code of Excellence here is going to be to protect those who cannot protect themselves. IBEW Code is going to be to create customer satisfaction and protect the public. Lineman translation: the public never sees the risk, but they trust you anyway. Sometimes, I guess. Every connection affects someone's home, hospital, or family. Very true. You don't rush work that could hurt someone you'll never meet. It's kind of foggy there, AI, but you did right.
Yeah, a little foggy.
Role: are we earning trust or just getting the job done?
So when you take this one, Jin, duty to others, I think we all get in this trade because we're going to turn the lights on. You know what I mean? Like, I wish AI would have done more on the emergency side, because our dudes respond. Let's just face it. We just went to several storms, drove across the country. You know what I mean? So the guys when they're called to duty, linemen show up, bro. Linemen, let's just face it. That's why we get in this trade, to go turn people's power back on. So for me, I would rather I think they missed the boat on this one. I would rather focus on duty to others as, our quality matters. I think the mantra of the IBEW, quoting Pat Lavin, safety, quality, and production, right? Like, quality is a big mantra for the IBEW, and I think that's where the Code of Excellence comes in, is we got to build it right. Who wants to put up a connector that fails in the middle of the night? This shit's got to build. This shit's got to last. So for me, I think duty to others from a lineman's perspective or our trade perspective, and the Code of Excellence is quality, building it right. I think that's where it went kind of semi. But also responding, being responsive to customers, getting the lights on as soon as possible as we can, limiting our outages if we can, knowing that there's people out of power. When me coming up in the trade, you didn't really do that much. Outages was not a thing, dude. Like, you took an outage very briefly for a cutover, and that was it. So for me, I think it's getting back to, we provide a service, but we also provide a lot of people being comfortable. Let's just face it. Air conditioning, refrigeration.
Yeah.
Everything comes from us. So for me, duty,
Netflix.
Netflix, I think everything comes from duty to others on this one. I think it's a pretty good one. I would have liked to see more of on the emergency response from AI, but maybe you can plug it back in there.
Yeah.
Fix that.
You were wrong there, co-pilot.
Yeah. No.
I think getting the job done is the duty, and it earns the trust.
Okay.
You get it done with quality, and you get it within the parameters that you set out. I think it kind of does. I mean, very rarely are you engaging directly with the customer if it's not to access property or anything, but they're not patting on the back, so to speak. I mean, I'm sure they're happy when there's been emergency. But I mean, on a day-to-day basis, it's kind of viewed as something that's magic. And then you just flip the light switch on, and they like it to be that way. I think some people,
customers more now are like being like, they're more like, they don't want to be inconvenienced at all.
Absolutely.
So I think it's our duties to kind of explain the reason why we're out there, do a better job at, the voice to the customer, get ahead of it, and being more proactive on our scheduling when it comes to customers, and don't get me wrong. I think all of our CCs and everybody that, that schedule work, and they do a great job, but I think there's still probably some, back to your point, is like room for improvement on the why.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
tough one. A little sticky. All right, let's get out of that one.
Let's get out of there.
REI. I think
I like REI.
It's a good spot. I take gift cards from REI. Is respect. Role of the Samurai Code is going to be respect for others regardless of rank. IBEW Code. Demonstrate professionalism and teamwork. Lineman translation. Respect the apprentice, the operator, the groundman. Respect the craft by doing it right. Respect the hazards by never getting casual with them. All right, not bad there. I think the question someone can ask themselves is, does my behavior make this crew stronger or harder to work with? Yeah. What do you think?
Well, respect. I mean, I definitely can see how this is relatable in our trade. I'll tell you what, I think if we mutually respect each other, I think you're going to have better relationships. I think you're going to communicate better. I think you're going to have a better crew. You're going to have a better training environment. You're going to have a safer crew. You've seen it and I've seen it. I've seen crews that work together and they respect each other, and there's an expectation on that crew. And let's just face it. We're all dads. We're all human beings first. We're brothers. We're sons. Before we were all linemen. So for me, it's don't forget where we came from either. We're human beings first. So I think that respect is so critical in the training environment. I think it also drives a more skilled workforce when you're in a good training environment, which means the apprentice that's being trained to be that next culture, that next journeyman, he's going to ask more questions.
Yeah.
He's not going to feel timid because they have a mutual relationship that I'm the lineman, you're the apprentice, And don't get me wrong. All trades are not for the weak. Let's just face it.
Yep.
You got to bring a backbone with you. You're gonna get teased. There's things that are gonna happen that I think we all sign up for as an apprentice, no matter what trade you're in. But there is a line in the sand that says, okay, you crossed it, right? I'm a human being. I'm a man first. So for me, let's build on the respect for each other, knowing that we're all there to make a living for ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think the better we understand as a trade, the better environment we put for our apprentices and the better environment we have even for the public. You know what I mean? I think it's just all around better. So for me, it's like, and we're shaping the culture. So in this everyone leads culture, like we're shaping that next culture. How you treated me is how I'm going to treat my apprentice, and so forth and so forth and so forth down the line. So if we want to improve our training environment, somebody's got to say something. Somebody's got to, change the way that's done. I'm not saying it hasn't worked, because obviously we're in a great business, but I think there's definitely a room for improvement in putting our apprentices in a respectful training environment on every crew.
Yeah.
So
good point.
I don't know if that hits it, but that's a little bit tough one. It's kind of a soft little.
Yeah, they're all pretty.
Yeah.
It was a tall order to ask. I bet you AI's never been asked that. Samurai and Lineman.
But I know one thing: when respects break down on a crew, respect breaks down on a crew. You can definitely feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely feel like the relationships aren't there. When the relationships aren't there, I think it affects the performance for sure.
Yeah, long days.
Yeah,
long days of work, long days of working. Add to, it's not always going to be rainbows and snow cones. It's going to be some challenging times, to your point. So, yeah, absolutely. But I think the good ones still find a way to communicate past that, or ask for a change, whether it's a different crew, different kind of work scope. And I think that's perfectly fine too.
Mm-hmm.
I like that self-check, though. Does my behavior make this crew stronger? And I think you can kind of take that into any encounter. As students of extreme ownership, we always look at, did this relationship or did this conversation add leadership capital or withdrawal? And I think that's been a good check for me to say, did that conversation or that relationship get value from what I brought to the table? Sometimes it's the latter. Other times it's something I should be working on. So,
good point.
All right, moving right along. Raul here. Makoto. I believe I got that right. Honesty. Samurai, words and actions must match. Well done. IBEW Code, be accountable for individual and collective performance. Lineman translation is, if you say it's good, it better be good. Not so much there. Verify and check. Raul, own mistakes early before they cost lives or trust. A journeyman's word still means something. Raul, the question is going to be, am I doing my best? Am I doing my part to the standard? What does that standard look like on our crew? What do you think?
Well, I think it ties really back to accountability, having ownership. I think once you identify a problem, you got to own it fast, because I think if you wait and delay it and you let it just fester, it's going to get worse. So I think that's the hardest thing for us. And what was the word again? Makoto. Honesty.
Yeah. Be accountable for individual and collective performance.
Yeah, honesty. So, accountability, I just keep seeing that word accountability pop up. And it ties so easily back to extreme ownership. You know what I mean? And in that extreme ownership world and that everyone leads culture, like, you got to own the problems. And you also can't just own the problem, but you have to have the concept of owning the resolution too, getting out of it fast.
Resolution or solution?
Solution.
Resolution. Yeah, I guess.
Resolution, same. It's kind of the same thing, or solution.
Yeah.
But for me, it's, you got to take it personal. You got to own it with yourself. It's like, it's back to having a choice. Back to the, keeping it simple too. Clear communication. You don't want to hide from it. You gotta communicate better. You gotta have our readbacks, right? The readbacks are important. Understanding where you are in that whole space of, once you find the problem, then there's a resolution, and then aligning on what that might be. So that's like a whole step. I went kind of fast in there, but there's a whole process in that. But I think accountability, I think it aligns well. I think they got pretty close. I think ChatGPT or Copilot got a little close on that one, but for me, it's accountability.
As a director, are you ever going to encourage crews to be or own a higher standard than one you're already trying to implement within the organization? Is that something that you do, or you just kind of allow them to have their own personality, how they operate the crew?
Yeah, are you talking about if a crew wants to step up and raise the bar even higher?
Yeah, a little higher standard. Yeah.
Dude, I'm all for that. On their own, absolutely. I think you're looking for those opportunities, and guys do it all the time.
Yeah,
like, we don't have an SOP for every single thing.
Sure.
Think about when you build a pole, right? Like, even Brady Hansen talks about it. There ain't no square washer policy. The SOP that says you have to orient that square washer when you put it on the pole so it's in the it looks like a square, or we're not putting diamonds up. Like, the guys do that naturally.
Very true.
And so for me, it's, if guys are willing to take the extra step in pride and accountability, I think that's what we're looking for. Like, I think that's what we're looking for is that type of mindset, because I think that allows us the trust, which gives us speed now, right? Like, we don't have to tell the crews every single step, and we don't. Like, let's just face it, the lineman, foreman, crews in our trade, they're not being told how to set the poles and do their connect. We talk about policies, procedures, accountability, and everything we're talking about. There's so many other things on a crew that we don't even talk about that the crews do organically or naturally effective at it. The smallest, sometimes it's the smallest thing, just spreading wire, putting up a fucking connector. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these guys, we don't have policies for every single thing. But man, the guys are innovative too. The amount of tools and rigging the guys got now, like, come on.
What's funny is you talk.
It's a one-man band up there, bro.
No, here's my point is, if you say Raul's crew has the highest standard within the yard, someone could interpret that as Raul's crew takes the longest to do task A. But then you actually think about that. If Raul, the foreman, sets the standard and it's high and everyone's in line with it, that's a crew working as a crew. Everyone's speaking the same language. They're getting it done. They know how to set the pole this way in this scenario. And no one's kind of bucking the crew. So I think there's some, and I always say, good crews and even in rodeo and good rodeo events, you could play symphony music and it's like orchestrated perfectly. It's not a death metal rock band where it's chaos and everything, but there's like this kind of this flow of peace, so to speak. It's kind of a light, fluffy word, but I mean, I think there's some uniqueness to that. And you see good crews do it all the time. Pulling wire, setting a pole, the standard's high and it's been set, and everyone just kind of flows and knows their role. Make sense? I don't know.
No, it does, but back to the accountability piece, like good crews also own their mistakes big time, dude, right out the gate. Out the gate, and they learn from them and they move on from them. And they talk about them. How are we going to get better? Yeah. What happened? And to me, that's the best crews right there, bro. That's really the best crews, because we're not going to do everything perfect. Even in the back office, we don't do everything perfect. Get pretty damn close. But even when we make mistakes, it's like, okay, what went wrong? Let's fix them. Let's own them. Let's put things in place so it doesn't happen again, and then move on. Like for me, that's the best recipe. That
was the big hack, right? And I'm glad you brought it up, because Dave Burke was telling us, he gets asked the question, what does it make? He works a lot with Navy SEALs. Dave Burke worked Top Gun. What makes people so special? What makes that group of people you work with? And you're waiting for some hack. Yeah. Maybe it's a few Jocko goes before you do something. He's like, we debrief.
Everything.
We debrief everything.
Even when it goes well.
Yeah. Yeah. You debrief. And you're like,
it's pretty awesome.
That's it? Where's the hack? Come on, man. Like 8 hours of sleep plus coffee. And that's not it.
What are you guys really doing?
Come on, man. All right, Raul, let's punch this along here. Mio? Honor.
That's Mijo.
Mijo.
We're going to our culture right there, bro.
Samurai is going to be honors earned through conduct, not status. IBEW Code is going to be uphold the values and reputation of the IBEW. Lineman translation, your actions represent the hall, the local, the trade. Well done. How you work today affects how the next lineman is treated. For sure.
Absolutely.
You don't wear the title, you earn it daily. That's awesome. Where all the questions going to be, if someone judged the IBEW solely by how I work today, what would they see? I think that's a great kind of...
It's a great reflection question right there.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Did I uphold the standard? Absolutely.
I think you got it. I think us as tradesmen, in any trade, specifically our line trade, like we got to protect our standard. Like I totally agree, we got to protect our standard. And I think it's up to us to establish what that standard is. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I'm being a little bit negative here and I apologize, but it's okay to do it like this for now, but that's really not the standard. But we're going to do it like this. You know what I mean? Those type of conversations, I think it's up to us as tradesmen to say, no, that's not the standard, and continue to set that bar high. Back to my point, because we're going to deviate, and when we deviate from those standards, it puts us in compromising positions. You know what I mean? And then our reputation is at stake at that point, right? So when you talk about building a standard and building a reputation, you know it and I know it. What gets to the yard before you do is our reputation. So if you have a reputation of it with holding that standard, I think you're going to have a better outcome in your career, because you set the standard. Everything, if you as a foreman, we do it like this way because this is Paul's crew and this is how it's done. I think those are the most confident crews. Those are the most productive crews. The most safest crews.
Yeah.
When they're ran exactly the way the foreman wants to do them, and not saying that nobody else is a leader on the crew, because everybody has to withhold that standard from that foreman based off their leadership skills that they have, because everybody leads. So for me, it's because the foreman can't be everywhere.
Right.
Foreman's not getting fuel with them. Foreman's not framing everything all the time. You know, he's in the office. So at some point, everybody has to lead on that crew. And I think you have a culture of that. I think we'll be the most successful, for sure.
I think that's a good marker too. Let's say, to go back to this question, if someone judged the IBEW solely by how you work today, if you were to have a bystander there that had no no knowledge of IBEW, non-IBEW, or whatever the case may be, and then you converse with them and like, well, how do you work so good? How do you, why did you do such a good job? And I think it's kind of corny to say, but it's like I abide by the code of excellence. I know there's probably in a scenario you're not going to say that, but in the back of your mind, thinking, that's why I have such a high standard.
It's almost like an unwritten rule.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a rule.
Yeah,
it's there, but it's almost like that. And honor is a tough one, dude. Like. Yeah. I mean, you're basically saying you're gonna uphold the standard no matter what.
No matter what.
You have honor. I mean,
rain, snow.
No matter what. You're upset that day.
Yeah.
That's a big word, dude. Like for me, you have to really kind of know what you're signing up for when you get in, right? And you're gonna have all these challenging things, circumstances thrown at you, right? Attitudes, egos. Work volumes, holiday weekend, like all this noise comes at you and you're trying to uphold the standard of honor, which is a huge word in our trade. We don't use it enough because you're not going to compromise the standards. And dude, and we're just talking about easy stuff. Like in my mind, I'm thinking safety rules, right? Like, okay, everybody knows the safety rules. We figured that part out. But thinking about the other things, production, quality, everything that comes with it, customer requirements, like there's a big ask of our guys. So for me, it's the relationship, man. And not to say you can't like lead and have innovation at the same time. It's not always gonna go perfect. I think that's gonna be hard to do too. You're gonna adapt as you go. That's okay too, right? You're not gonna know everything at always. So for me, it's like, can we stop, pause, have a conversation, adapt, make sure we're still aligned, and then proceed. Like for me, it's like there's just a lot in that to package up.
Honor's easy when you're getting sworn in and you're in the AC building and everyone's supporting you and cheering you on. But when you're in the middle of nowhere and you're on your 15th day of working straight and going home at night, it's gonna be challenging.
Dude, let's just face it. Safety is hard work.
Yes.
And if anybody wants to say it's not, I will challenge you all day long back and forth because it is.
Grab that 4-out ground.
Get your ground. Get your PPE on. Oh, by the way, we got to go ground in multiple locations. Oh man, we can't get our bucket truck to all of them. Yep. We're gonna have to go ground in those locations. There's a source there. And I'm not saying that because I think you can't do it. I'm saying it because you have to have a mindset. It's going to take longer. It's hard work.
It's going to take what it takes.
It's going to take what it takes. So
honor.
No, good stuff, dude. Do you think we're raising the standard right now, or do you think we're lowering it? Do you think as a culture?
Yeah, we're having the conversations. I think
we're raising it.
Yeah, it's becoming more casual. Yeah,
I think so. I'm not just saying Sturgeon. I'm saying like, I think the thing or the atmosphere out now in the trade is guys are constantly raising the bar because they know the expectations are getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And I think as a trade, we step up to the game, dude. We step up to the plate. We do it.
Yeah.
Oh, buck squeeze, 2002, no problem. We got this. You know what I mean? 20 years later, we're not even talking about it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, no, and implementing the new safety helmet coming up here.
Safety helmet coming up. Oh, you want to wear a chin strap? Pfft, no problem. Give it to me.
Cool.
Let's do it. You know what I mean? Cut resistant gloves? No problem. Let's do it. So for me, it's I think we don't give our guys enough credit. Yeah, sure, it's different. You know, what is it? Change fatigue. Our boy Lee was talking about, constantly changing. And I don't think we're there yet. I think there's possibility of getting there if we don't, correct some certain things quick. But I do think, I think our guys are up to it.
Yeah.
I think most guys, and I say our guys, that trade, not necessarily specific to Sturgeon.
I think the industry's looking at, they're at least looking at it.
Yeah.
You have implemented personal development, leadership development within our corporation. Talk about Lee, Hold the Line Leadership Summit event, something that the industry is getting engaged with, involved with. I think that's a great step in the right direction. Absolutely. Raising the standard. Cool. Last one here. I can speed things up here. Gonna butcher this one. Chugi. Chugai. Chugai. I think it's Chugai.
I think it's Chuji.
Chuji. My apologies. Our Japanese speaking friends here.
Yeah.
Loyalty role. Samurai. Loyalty to the mission and the team. IBEW Code is going to support management's goals while protecting labor standards. Lineman translation. Loyalty doesn't mean silence. It means commitment. Loyalty to safety, to crew, to the craft. You don't abandon standards to finish faster. Raul, the question is going to be, how do we meet management's objectives in a way that still honors our agreements, standards, and responsibilities as labor?
So I've been wanting to use this one all day. I couldn't figure out a way because I knew it's going to fit somewhere, but I think it fits in here perfectly. Is simply cover and move, dude. Protect your team. Having loyalty to yourself and to your crew. Because at the end of the day, we need each other. You know, very rare you're going to have a one-man crew out there, one-man show. 2-man crews, 3-man crews, 4-man crews, 5-man crews, 6-man crews. Like, it's a reason why there's a crew and why it's called a crew. It's the first law of combat. For me, it's the most important one is because without teamwork, without loyalty to your team and to yourself, none of this matters. Let's just face it. None of this we're talking about is going to matter because you're out for yourself. So for me, it's loyalty to the industry and the loyalty to your crew members. Hell, loyalty to your family. I mean, if you are the main provider, the main resource, the main source, I'll say, of financial income for your family, you have a responsibility and a loyalty to them to come home every single day for the next 50 years for you and your family.
Well
like,
said.
You know what I mean? So for me, I think that's where it ties in massively. And cover and move is that with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, with the industry, your fellow, brother's keeper. That's what it is. It's loyalty to yourself and to your trade. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if you abide by that code of excellence, the IBEW high standard, it will put you in a standard that will meet your company's goals, keep you coming home safe. So I think it kind of umbrellas everything that you need to have a long, successful career, all wrapped into one little code of excellence.
Mm-hmm.
Raul, how did Copilot do? What do you think?
Man, that was tough, bro. We got deep on that. I don't know how many listeners we lost in this episode because it was a little bit out there, but I tell you what, dude, I did have fun. It's fun. You're challenging me all the time with these, and learned a little bit about samurai culture. Didn't realize some of that, so appreciate it. It was dope. I liked it.
Absolutely. I do think they missed. They didn't talk about fit for duty. Code of excellence does have fit for duty. Obviously, as a samurai, they're gonna be fit. They're gonna be doing those things to stay sharp, so to speak. So, but yeah, next time, Copilot.
Healthy living.
Yeah,
keeps a healthy mind.
Yeah. And they battle in sandals.
If you feel
man.
good, you look good.
Yeah.
If you look good, you play good.
Yeah. You work good.
You work good.
All right, Raul, I got to wrap this up real quick because I promised you I'd get you out of here. One last little thing here. Segment 2, leadership scenario. Bear with me. Okay. Baby ducklings exhibit a behavior called imprinting, where they instinctively follow the first moving object they see after hatching. Even if it's not the mother. This could be a human, another animal, or an inanimate object if it moves consistently. I've heard it's been like paper bags. Anyways, you can absolutely use this concept in a leadership conversation because it's powerful, because it has to deal with influence and responsibility. Raul, how we talk about apprentices being imprinted about the good and bad behaviors on a crew, those work methods. What does that look like to you? You deal a lot with the apprenticeship, and you see a lot of these conversations. Are we looking at imprinting?
I will say yes. I will say if you're specific to an apprentice or somebody new to the trade, I think a lot of us teach without knowing it on our actions. We may not be specifically looking and talking with somebody in training and putting the training hat on. But I hate to say it, this imprinting makes sense. I didn't want to go down the baby duckling thing, but that's kind of cool. But no, we're constantly being watched, especially when it comes to influence. We are influencing people with our actions, and we may not even be dealing with them directly. So somebody's watching us setting a pole or spinning a pole, and we don't use a tagline. We are being watched by the younger workforce, right? And we should be using a tagline when a load can become uncontrollable. It's there for a reason. So you don't put yourself in the bite. You have a tagline, right? If we constantly don't use a tagline, new guy comes in and he's watching us load this pole. He may have went through the training. He may have not went through the training. Maybe not yet. But he's going to watch us spin this pole without a tagline. We are we are influencing that young apprentice or young groundman or somebody new to the trade that's okay not to use a tagline during this process, which it's clearly that it's there for a reason because people have gotten injured because of that. So for me, it's absolutely, dude, like we're influencing. It's a powerful tool is the way we are. The standard we set is through our actions, not necessarily always verbal. So people are watching us.
You could totally, your tagline.
Yeah, it was probably terrible.
No, it's actually pretty good because if an apprentice or a new employee comes and is not even really directly told that, but if a lineman who has influence or just a lineman in general grabs a tagline and starts repeatedly utilizing that work method, that standard is just even gonna become. It's like, okay, this is how you do it. I guess this is that's how we do it.
And reps, we talk about reps all the time, leadership reps, and like for me, dude, like training will show up. Training is gonna show up when we are tired, when we're hurt, when we don't want to be there, when our mind's somewhere else. Like the more reps we have, the more training we have, the more it's not as we're not as vulnerable into having an issue because our training's showing up. Boom, grab the tagline, grab this, grab that. It's like that consistency will build and it continues. And think about it. If you're more consistent, who's watching you do that? Everybody that's coming in the trade watching you be consistent. So you're training and building culture and don't even realize it. For me, it's do the right thing, dudes. Like grab what you need, get it out, be consistent in it. We're not going to be perfect. So set the standard a little higher and you'll settle in that soft space. That's right where you want to be.
Close it out here. You changed my perspective real quick on when you mentioned, I can't remember when I heard you say it, but you say it often, is an apprentice didn't learn that bad behavior. They were taught that, whatever that case may be. And typically when they're talking about that bad behavior, they're talking to you, and here you are trying to have that conversation, and that they were taught that, or they've seen it, or they're repeating it. They're doing the rep of the bad behavior. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's huge. And until you said it like that, I was like, freaking A, like that's 100% right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I've said it before, dude. Like we've talked, I don't know if it was here, but like you take a guy who's brand new to our trade and he may wear his seatbelt every single day when he gets in his personal vehicle. He's got a routine. Mm-hmm. Every single day he wears a seatbelt because that's what he's learned. That's what he's been taught. He doesn't want to hear the buzzer go off or whatever that might be. But then why does it change when he gets on a crew? Like, why does it change that he doesn't put a seatbelt on the crew? Because maybe, just maybe, we've built a culture of, well, you're in the heavy, you don't have to wear your seatbelt. You're good. And we figured out the seatbelt already, right? Like, it's that type of mentality. It's not just a seatbelt, and that's the easy one. It's those type of things that we have to check ourselves and have the courage to say something. Like, hey, dude, put your seatbelt on. Like, that's what we do here. Okay, cool. Guys will fall in. That's what I'm saying. I think everybody we have to get on board, bro. That's it.
Baby ducklings.
Baby ducklings.
You you'd be on your podcast talking about baby ducks?
No, I didn't know we were talking about baby ducks today.
That's all I got, man. Appreciate you.
I can't wait to see your AI picture for this one.
It's great.
Is it going to be a samurai or is it going to be a duckling?
Ooh. Check out tomorrow. This will be released tomorrow. Yeah.
Released tomorrow? Cool. Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Want to say thank you to the entire Sturgeon Electric California workforce. Without you, this podcast is not possible. I got to thank our sponsors, High Voltage Industries, Vimocity, Klein Tools, Milwaukee Tools, and recently Wye Delta sunglasses. Paul, this is an excellent episode, dude. I have something to close this out for you again, and it's about everyone leads. A culture of everyone leads isn't built in comfort. It's built in tough moments with positive influence. That one decision, that one conversation, that one moment you choose to hold the line. That's how an everyone leads culture is built. Boom. That's all I got.